We Got This Africa is an April Communications production, proudly brought to you by Fritol. Fritol, you deserve a life of goodness. I'm going to be 30-something years old this year, and sometimes I look back on my life and think, oh, how I have changed. The things I used to think were so cool aren't so cool anymore. The things I used to hold dear have changed. And I myself have changed a whole lot. Today on We Got This Africa, I'm going to be talking to Bintu and Gladys, and we'll talk about how our lives have changed, especially after becoming moms. You're welcome to our show.
We got this.
What's the biggest change, Bintu, that you identify in your life since you became a mom?
Stressful.
Stress?
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very stressful. You know, I'm someone who really likes to relax and
Chill.
all of that. But after having my baby, it has changed. Your sleep patterns, you can't really sleep a lot like that because you need to, she's 2 now, so you need to wake up, even at nighttime, wake her up and, you know, potty train her so that she doesn't pee in there. So it changes everything. You have to be conscious so that in case she wakes up during the night feeling uneasy, you just have to, you know, so it's
You
really...
sleep with your ears open?
Yes, one ear open so that just in case. The other time she fell off from the bed, okay, she can really roll in bed. So I became very conscious when I sleep so that nothing happens to her. And it's really, really hurting because I love to sleep.
Oh. You miss your sleep.
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever slept through something like bad, like slept and then maybe she's woken up and walked away or something?
So one time I slept off and when I woke up suddenly, I saw that she had vomited through the nose and her face was on the pillow struggling to breathe, okay? If I had slept off more, something might have happened to her.
Wow.
So I'm really conscious, like when I sleep, so I can attend to her in case she needs anything.
They're so helpless, eh?
Yes, yes.
How about you? What's the biggest change for you?
Actually, everything of mine is changed. First of all, I used to go out.
You used to chill?
Yes.
Where do you go?
And I used to go to Sajuna.
The beach?
So, ever since they came in, I have 2 kids.
How old are they?
The first one is 8, and the second one will be 5 next month.
Okay.
Ever since they came, everything has totally changed. Those times, my husband, out overnight. The next day, back a little bit. But now maybe there is a wedding, you have children, so not all the wedding that you are supposed to go, programs, not all the programs. Even when I'm here, my mind is in the house because they are in the house with my mom.
Yeah.
So a lot has really changed.
So even when your child is 8, you still worry about?
Yeah, because they are girls. And now
okay.
Everything has changed in the world. So if I don't put high red on my kids, then
yeah.
Something else.
So yeah, I was thinking, oh, I can't wait for my kids to be like 6 and 8. So at least when you go out, you'll not be so worried because they can talk, they can, if something happens, they can say it. But even at 8 with your mother, you're still worried.
I'm not comfortable at all.
That's why you've been scratching and moving your legs. So she's been shaking her legs this whole time.
Because I've not been leaving them since.
You never leave them?
Everywhere I go, I have to go with them. We go out together. We come back together. So even when I was coming here, I wanted to bring them. But I was thinking to maybe, I don't know.
You should have. You see the writings on the walls? They are by other children who have been here. So wow. So you're saying that you are never really free because you either have to take them with you, or you're constantly thinking about whether they're okay,
yes,
whether what they've eaten.
Because I know how they are.
How are they?
Actually, my first child,
your 8-year-old.
Yeah, they're 8 years. When I'm not around, she feel uncomfortable.
The 8-year-old.
Yeah, she feel uncomfortable. Mommy, what time are you coming? What time will you come? We have to do this. We play a lot.
Okay.
I'm a teacher, so we play a lot.
Okay.
And the small one too. Mommy, she me, iba. Then she'll go to my mom. Mommy, better teacher Gladys Baba. Teacher Gladys Baba, no. So I've never lived them long like
today.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well,
I wish I could say the same about myself, but I can't. Wow. At 8.
Yeah.
I mean, please tell me I'm not the only one who thinks that after the children are 6 and they can talk, you can comfortably leave them with your mother.
You know, when you leave kids with your mom, she would really take care of them. But, there's this kind of...
guilt.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, So, for me, when I took my daughter out to a wedding once. She's 2, you know what this...
Yeah.
So I took her out once and she gave me a lot of trouble.
Yeah, of course.
So it's either I'm not going at all, or if I get someone to leave her with, then it's fine. But if not, I'm not going out. Because when you take her out, trust me, you will not enjoy the show.
I totally agree. And that's one of the reasons I stopped going to church. Because you take your children to church, and one moment they are on the pulpit, they're like on the stage, running around, you'll be chasing them around, stop this, don't do that. You literally can't leave them because they'll be causing trouble in the church. And so it's one of two things. You either don't go at all, and because of COVID, Sunday school stopped for a while. Yeah. And so it meant that if you took your children to church, they would have to be in the main church and they would never sit. So eventually I couldn't anymore.
I'm going to buy these kids, give me money, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy
Well, I'm going to buy this is okay, but they're crying.
One time during Ramadan, so usually we women, we are not supposed to, it's not compulsory for us to go to the mosque to pray. You can pray in your houses. So during Ramadan, we try and go to the mosque because we have a special prayer we do. So I took her to the mosque one time. And we segregate, like the males are in front and the female. So we were praying and I realized that she had left the female side. She went to the male side. And she went straight to where the imam was praying. And when the imam went into prostration, she actually climbed him. So everyone was like, we are praying, we don't talk. So after the prayers, then the one who calls the Azam was like, money being here, because it was actually distracting everyone.
The whole service.
From that day. I never take her to the mosque again.
She was climbing on the
imam, because the imam had gone on prostration. She just went and climbed. It was really bad.
It's really embarrassing.
It's like yes, because at school they have this.
Yes, it's a game they play. I took my children to a wedding once, and then they were serving jollof fries and rice. So I was serving my little one, and he started shouting, "I want banku! I want banku!" And there was no banku, so he sat on the floor, and he was just throwing a huge tantrum because he wants banku. My children like banku. He was throwing a huge tantrum because there was no banku, and his aunties. When they start behaving like that, I just pretend I don't know them. Like, whose children are those? I just, on looking, I'm the master of on looking when my children start throwing tantrums in public because sometimes you just can't help it. So like you, sometimes I just rather not go. Like I would really rather not go because if you go, you will not have a good time. That's one. You can't even dress up properly. I can't dress up properly. When I go out with my kids.
Even when you dress up properly, you come to the house in the
looking
mess.
Wretched.
Yes.
So when I go out with my kids, I usually would be in black leggings and a black t-shirt. I don't do long hair. I hold my hair up. I probably would not wear any makeup. And so I really like the whole mask season because you just put the mask on and nobody sees your face and you're great. Because if you dress up, you either come back dirty. I don't wear high heels when I take my children out. In fact, I don't remember the last time I wore high heels anywhere because I just got used to wearing flats. So no high heels, no fancy clothes, black. I wear my hair up, no makeup. I don't use earphones, AirPods, none of that. If you call me, my phone is on loudspeaker, so everybody can hear what you're saying. Because earpods means, well, I'll not come back with the earpods. And the best part, when they get their hands on your phone, do you have control over your phone?
No.
How many times have you had to change your screen protector?
Well, apparently, yesterday I realized that the top part of my screen doesn't scroll down. Because when she's with her phone, she normally can, Mommy, I'll play Shaq Dudu. So when I give it to her and maybe she wants something else and you don't give her, then the phone on the floor, bang. So I just realized that my phone is, smart.
You can't buy cool phones. Do your children play with your phone?
Perfect.
You give it to them?
Yeah, I give it to them.
Okay.
The elder one, for instance, she is very quiet. She's always quiet, but the small one, that Joko, very, 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 very serious girl. She always fights with the elder one. Can mommy phone now? Give me my mother's phone.
Okay.
Then maybe
her mother.
fighting over the phone, then it will fall.
Yeah.
I've changed my phone twice. The protector to screen protector itself 3 times. Just recently, she has spoiled my phone. So the other time I went to my stepbrothers and they gave me phone. She even took my phone. Rosalind said I shouldn't touch your phone, so I put the phone in the water. She spoiled my phone.
Oh yeah.
So
I found my phone in the toilet bowl once. I was in the toilet.
I was washing, so I thought it was soap that was in the water. So I put my hand in the water. I was shivering, and someone said, "Put it in the rice. Go and buy uncooked rice and put it inside." I did it. I used the dryer. My phone didn't come back. Yeah. Rest in peace.
As for me, it's my laptop nowadays. They open the laptop and they want to sit on it and relax. You know how you open the laptop? Yeah. So they sit on it and they want to lean back.
So
like an armchair.
Yeah.
With my MacBook Pro 2019.
They don't care about the Pro.
No, they don't care about that. And they think it's theirs. Like they believe it's theirs.
Yes.
They believe the phone is theirs. People say, now when we call you, don't pick up. When my children pick up my phone, and they're on YouTube, and calls come in, they just cut the call and continue watching. Continue watching Peppa Pig.
My daughter picked my call, and she told the person, "I don't know who you are. Stop calling my mother." It was one of our weaknesses. "Stop calling my mother. I'm busy using my mother's phone." And she did recording. So later I was checking the phone and I found that recording. I was, so how would this person feel? And the person has been seeing me always. She has never approached to me that I called you the other time and this is what.
My daughter, when she has my phone and the call comes, Mommy, trouble. Mommy, trouble. Mom, they are calling you. And it's like the people are disturbing you. So hurry up, pick up the call so I can continue.
Well, at least they pick up. My kids, they'll just cut the call and then they'll continue. And when they're bored, they video call people very randomly. They'll go on, WhatsApp, and they start calling random people.
And sending
and sending pictures.
Yes, and messages. So for me, my phone, I don't have any bad pictures on it because of my children.
Do you get people judging you for letting your children use your phone?
Yes, they think you are spoiling them.
Yeah.
Okay. Living in a local extended family setting, I always give the phone to her because that's the only way I get peace.
Yep.
Okay. So when you always there if they play, she will get spoiled because anytime she wants it, you give it to her.
Honestly, I wish I didn't have to give my children my phone so much. I wish I could, hang out with them more and chat with them more when we are together. But look, the truth is when you are driving, and these children are not engaged. They don't have, anything to... In fact, sometimes I'll give them coloring. I'll give them a book, to color. But over time, they get tired of coloring in this Accra traffic.
They do.
And they want to watch something. And the moment they get their hands on your phone, unfortunately, one of my children discovered Snapchat and I deleted the app. Because now he's like, oh, I want the puppy face. Oh, look, I want the funny face. Mommy, look at your eyes. I was like, okay, social media, no. So I had to delete the app from my phone.
My 2-year-old knows about TikTok.
TikTok.
Yes. Mommy, I want to TikTok.
I want to TikTok.
Yes, 2 years.
Oh boy. I mean, I just deleted the app. So I was like, okay, watching ABCDs, Coco Melon, watching educational videos, that's fine.
And all those things.
Yeah, ABCD phonics songs, that's fine. But Snapchat, so I just had to I just had to remove the app from my phone. And then I put a password on my phone, a long password. But then I found my son was still using the phone. I was like, why the password didn't work? He has memorized my password. I never told him. I think I once told him, like, okay, this, that. And it was also a way to teach him numbers at the time. Okay, so press number 1, show me number 1, show me number 3, you know.
Ah, so due to that.
He knows my password. He's never forgotten. He unlocks the phone and goes to his dad. I know mommy's password. And by the way, he enters this password into everybody's phone and ends up locking people's phones all over the place. So he actually picked up like a friend's phone once and started entering the same password, and he locks the phone. And you know, there's a first retry after 1 minute. And after 1 minute, he came back, he logged it again, and then there's retry after 5 minutes. Then he waited and logged. So he logged it, and I don't know, she had to reset the phone or something weird. And it was so embarrassing, but hey. How we go do up? How we go do up? It's easy to judge moms who give their children a lot of screen time, and I think I probably was one of those people who thought, why would you let your child be on the phone the whole time? Until I became a mom and realized sometimes that's the only way you will have peace of mind. Me time, peace of mind to operate a vehicle, or peace of mind to cook, or just sleep, or take a shower. Just take a shower. How many, wait, let me just ask you this. Before you became a mom versus after you became a mom, has your shower time changed?
Oh, it has.
Tell me about it.
You know, when I wake up early in the morning, I bath her first. Okay, so I can just make her up so she can go to school. At first, when I wake up for prayers, I bath first, then I go and pray. But this time, I just wake up, pray, then take care of her so she can go to school. Then when I come back, I take my bath for anything else.
Well, now I'm in and out of the bathroom in like 5 minutes max, like boom, boom, I'm out. I only have a good shower at night. Like at night, you can have a good bath. Yeah. But in the morning, they are literally in the bathroom. Like they're trying to get in. They are constantly trying to get in.
Back in school, when I wake up, I used to do this turmeric stuff for my
skincare. Yes. Hallelujah.
It has stopped. I don't even know where to get turmeric again.
You don't do skincare anymore.
No, I don't. Because you don't have that time to even bath well. There's no time like that. Because when you leave it for the smallest time,
by the time you come back, there's something wrong. They say silence is golden, but not when you have kids. Have you ever walked in your kids doing something weird or bad because you left them?
Actually, let me say, last week Sunday, I was in the room with them, and my auntie came to visit me. So after, let me go and see my auntie off. When I was going, I warned them, Rosalie, Gwendolyn, please be good children for me. I'll be back soon. They said, okay. I went. When I came back, the mess in the room, it was, I don't know. I'd wanted to beat her, the small one. I'd wanted to beat her. And I said, no, I'm a teacher. The way I've been handling the children in the school.
You can't come home and be beating your
child.
child.
Why can I do this to my... Then I just, when in school, when they do something wrong, I hold them, then I just send them to the wall. If you don't know it, I'll cut your finger.
No.
I'll cut your finger.
No.
That's what I've been telling her. So, hey, if you do this, Auntie Gladys will cut your finger. I mean, I don't want her
to cut my finger. They call you Auntie Gladys.
Yeah. I don't want Auntie Gladys to cut my finger. So, I have to do yes things.
And that's how they behave.
Yeah. So, if I do no thing, Auntie Gladys will cut my finger.
Said no thing.
Yes.
Anyway, we're talking about the things that have changed in our lives since we became moms. You're watching Wgta This Africa. We'll be right back.
We got this. Can you feel over your face? Can you feel over your face? We got this. Can you feel over your face?
From relatively shorter hours or minutes in the shower to an absolute total change in your lifestyle. Having kids can really turn your life around. Today I'm chatting with Bintu and Gladys, and oh, do we have so much in common. So let me ask you guys, you have 2 kids.
Yes, please.
Relatively, well, I don't want to say older, but compared to Bintu and I, your kids are older. So you have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. You have a 2-year-old. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Before you had your children, in your mind, the way you perceived them, or you hoped they would be, the kind of life you thought you would have, is it in any way similar to what you have now?
Not really, because I imagine having, wearing the same attire with my daughter.
Twinning.
Strolling the streets, and everyone know that,
Yeah. But why can't you twin with her?
But she chooses her own outfit, actually.
Oh,
yes.
2-year-old.
I want to wear this. She came back from school the other time. She had one sandal. It's becoming smaller, so I told her she wouldn't wear it to school again. So I wanted her to wear that sandal in the house. It was like, Mommy, no, this school sandal, I don't wear it in the house. Oh. So you can't even choose for her.
2-year-old?
Yes.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I see. What about you?
The same. My 2 kids, we go out like they are my sisters.
Yeah.
I'm the only daughter of my parents, 7 boys and 1 girl.
Wow.
So we are 8. So
hard girl.
So now that I have 2 girls, I see them to be my sisters, and I'm okay with them.
Do you ever feel like you need some time away from your children?
I always do.
You always do?
Yes. I sometimes I wish I could go to just, to the seaside and be alone there, just free my mind. She's an only child, but the stress you go through with her, it's much. I told you earlier, I really love like freedom. So it's like she's really stressing me. I love it when I'm with her because she's fun to be with. But at some point, the stress and everything, you just wish you can go somewhere and just free your mind.
What exactly is stressful about being with a 2-year-old?
The tantrums. Mommy, I want this. Like, when they want something and they really want it. And sometimes you can't say no to it, and really gets frustrating because it's like you're spoiling the child. That's how people may see it. So you get so stressed out with everything and having to take care of her, the feeding and everything. It's quite, stressful.
But let me come in. For their age, 2 years, these are the things that you go through for 2 years. They will disturb you. In my school, I handle the 2-year kids. So it seems like I know much about them. When they are 2, they can disturb you, but you have the heart to control them. They can say, Auntie this, Auntie that. I remember when my girl was 2 years, she sits quietly comparing to the kids that I'm handling in school. Why is my daughter always quiet? And the kids in school, the way they are very active, they do this, they do that. My daughter was not able to do it. Say, this is serious. 2 years kids, they are different from 3, 4. It's a stage.
Let me just say that teachers are angels.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I don't know how you guys do it. You handle 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
How is a typical day in your life like? Do you scream? Do you shout? Are you always angry?
I don't. Teaching is a calling. You can't get up and say I'm a teacher if you don't have that heart.
So you're never angry?
Oh, I never. The only thing gets me upset is maybe that let's say wee poo poo.
They won't say it.
They won't say it. And we have been doing it. We all go to the washroom together. Auntie Gladys wants to poo poo. Auntie Gladys wants to do this. So due to that, they start learning this. But maybe, all of them are not.
Some of them will not be safe.
Yes,
so it's normal.
Sometimes it gets me annoyed. Everybody is doing it. Why this child? When his time comes, you will get it.
Okay. Okay.
So
Because I always want to, because I just have 2 children in my house and I'm constantly losing my mind. So
They can disturb 2
during
years.
COVID, we came to really appreciate
our work.
the teachers who especially handle toddlers.
Hey, it's not easy. It's not easy. Feeding them.
Have your children ever put themselves in danger? Like come to the kitchen to find that they're trying to turn on the stove or
Yeah.
Yes.
tell me.
I met her at the stove. Mommy, it's not turning. Mommy, it's not
Trying to
turning.
turn it on.
Yes. So I was just lucky to have, because my own is automatic. You know when you
Yes, when
there's
you
one
turn
that
it.
doesn't need the
Yeah.
matches. So when you turn it, the fire just lights up. So since that incident, I decided to start turning off my cylinder.
All together.
Yes. So even when she turns it, nothing will come up. Sometimes you go and, Mommy, I'm doing banku. She has her own, I bought her some kitchen,
Playsets.
So she has it, Mommy, I'm doing banku. If you're unlucky, she'll just go and pick up a knife. And doing the banku, if you don't take her, she would cut herself. So I try to put things, in the right place. You can't be careless for just a moment.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take your eyes off for a minute.
For my girl, the second one, there was a time that she went to the kitchen. She on the the stove, and I was not there. I went to the washroom, so I was there. I was not feeling comfortable. The other one was in the room. For her, this Paw Patrol, Shima and Shine and all those things. That's her favorite cartoons that she watched. So something just clicked me that get up and go inside. When I went, the gas has taken place all over.
She had turned on the gas.
Yes. And when I read that, I said, Gwendolyn, why did you do that? I said, "It means Suni eba, she jefunson eba, minima fe ne baba." Okay, this one is very harmful. Eba shamboe. Said, back off here, shambo. Said, okay. So I went to YouTube and this gas explosion and all those things. Then I downloaded it and I show you to where that this is the consequences that you face when you go close to this thing. He said, my sham. I said, yes. So I hold the hand when this thing was on the silver was on the burner. I hold her hand like this and I sent one of her finger. She felt it. Said, ish, this is what you get. So please stay away from this. Ever since, she has never ever get close to my burner again. Even this sharp instrument.
Charlie, these things are so scary, yeah? Because that's how accidents occur in the house.
Yes. All over
They
the
want
place.
to explore, anything they see.
Yeah.
Mommy is doing it, so let me do it. Mommy is doing that, let me do it. There was a time Parazo was there. I used it to scrub the bathroom. She went and take it and she sipped some. So
Sip the parazone.
So I said, for her, yeah. She said, no, girl. Gwendolyn said, no, girl. So I came and said, Ma, I feel like. So I smelled the scent. Said, this is what she has done. I said, me know I will. Said, Nani Maje. Hey, Gwendolyn. She was looking at me and I said, do you want to die? He said, no. Close your eyes. She closed. Will you see me? She said, no. I don't know what I'll do by then. I don't know. So I called my mom and told her that this is what Gwendolyn. She said I should give her plenty water. So I gave her the water. Then she starts vomiting. Then later we sent her to the pharmacy and they said, so far as I've given her the water, it's okay.
Let's talk about childbirth in itself. Giving birth to your children. Has it changed you in any way?
Yes. My body physically, yes, I wasn't really fat this way.
You're not fat.
I'm not fat, okay. I didn't have any stretch marks on my tummy, but after childbirth, they are there, and you know that tackiness that comes on your tummy. And I don't really like seeing it, but looking at my daughter, I really appreciate it, that it's worth it. Okay. So that's the change that came physically on my body.
How about emotionally?
Yeah, after having her, she couldn't breastfeed. She couldn't suck on the breast well. So sometimes she gets really hungry. I need to pump add the breast milk and give to her. Watching her suck on the bottle, sometimes I cry. And after I told you earlier that she used to
Vomit from
vomit
her
from
nose.
there, it was really heartbreaking. See, because you can imagine,
It's uncomfortable.
yes, you as an adult having food from your nose. So sometimes I watch her and I feel very emotional and I cry because I think she is suffering, okay? And a lot. Sometimes you get so tired. I know of a friend, after having the child, the baby used to have balls on their body. So when she sees the baby, the way the baby is suffering, the pain the baby is going through, she'll just go out and she'll just be crying. Because she is imagining herself in the baby's shoes. Yeah. How she would feel if and imagine a baby going through all of that pain. So she just cries, and the tears just come. You don't know where they come from, but they just come.
Serious. It's not easy. I found that it's harder to get anything done. I'm constantly tired. Even when I sleep, I will sleep well, wake up, I'm still tired. Because you don't really sleep as a mom.
Yeah, sure.
Like you're never really asleep.
I have to call them. Get up, go and wee-wee. So let's take it down. Before they will sleep, they have to wee-wee. 12 o'clock, I have to call them.
Even at 8?
Yeah.
I see. So it doesn't end.
If let's say I don't train her like that, some children are 10 years, but still they do wet bed.
Oh.
So it's the alarm. 12 o'clock, they have to get up.
You have set an alarm?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So 4 o'clock too, they have to get up and go and wee-wee. For the small one, the moment maybe I overslept, then she have to
bed.
But for the elder one, she sometimes get up. If I don't call her,
By
she get, yes. But the small one, I have to train her for that, so that maybe they go somewhere, they will not go and disgrace me.
Yeah.
I'm a chon, come on. So.
Have you had any birth-related challenges?
Yes, please.
What?
Actually, let me say April, somewhere April. Yeah, I'm a teacher, as I told you. And during pregnancy, I don't get things easy.
Yeah.
At all. From day 1 till 9 months, 2 weeks that the naming ceremony is going to take place before I'll be. Okay, so it got to a distance that I saw that I was pregnant. I went to check and they told me it was 6 weeks, but what is in there is bigger than 6 weeks. So I should go and come 12 weeks. When I'm 12 weeks, then I should come. So I went and they confirmed that it was twins. I was so excited because I have 2 girls already. So I was planning. So when I was, let's say, 3 months, I got to know that they were boys. So I was very happy. I have 2 girls. I'll get 2 boys. Then I'm done. Because it's not easy during pregnancy. So due to that, I have to quit my job. Because this time around, I didn't get it so easier at all. So along the line, I went to antenatal and they took a scan again. And the doctor told me they are not feeling the heartbeat of the children, the kids there. They are not feeling the heartbeat. I said, wow, okay. And they gave me, let's say, 3 months, 2 weeks. By that time, they will start feeling it. I don't know. So I went again when I was around 4 months. I didn't go into antenatal. So 4 months, then I went back again. When I went, still the doctor said he is not feeling the heartbeat of my baby. Not baby, so baby. I said, hey, this is serious. So 5 months to 6 months, I went to, antenatal is every month that. So 6 months when I went to the antenatal, they took a scan and they told me that there was no baby in my womb. And my stomach was, although when I'm pregnant, I don't have big stomach, very small. So by the time you realize that, oh, this lady is pregnant, maybe I'm closer to my 9th month. So due to that, my stomach is not that big.
Yeah.
And
They're so cute.
Yeah. I don't have these marks on my stomach. So people say, hey, you for that. Say, I'm for that, you be in your. So my children always say, hey, Mommy, very soon we will have brothers.
You told them that.
I told them that this is this. So they went out to spread the news.
Oh.
My mother is pregnant and she will give birth to twins.
Wow.
And I'll take one. One name is Glenn. And and the other one said, my own will be Joshua. So they are giving their own names. So I went to hospital 6 months and they said there is nothing in my stomach. They can't find anything in my womb. So, hey, what is this? And they told me that I went to another place to take a scan. And the lady told me that, are you alive? And I said, yeah, I'm alive. She said, even the children in your stomach, I'm going. You don't have anything in your stomach, I'm going. I said, why are you saying this? I just went to the hospital and you two are saying different things altogether. And so she showed me a place that I have to go for them to do DNC for me, 6 months. So I went. When I went there, and the doctor examined me, checked all my scan report that, and he started doing the DNC for me. It was not easy, and it was very green. And he was saying that, and they make it like me, and you are still alive. It was very, very, very green.
The babies were green?
One, like, it could make it spread out, but it could make it go bad. It's okay in the stomach. So the first one, I think the first one, no, doctor is not feeling the heartbeat of the baby. Or by that time, it go omo, but he didn't know. He didn't see anything. So you have to start doing the DNC. They did it and they showed it to me. I went through a lot. This thing that let me say, he removed, it was very green.
What
very
does that
green.
mean?
Let's say, they said it has rot.
Wow.
So I was saying, for all this while, I've been going to antenatal and they didn't see anything. So, I'm okay,
6 months.
6 months. So where I went to take the scan, I might say that maybe that person is my God. She's a female. She saw it.
She saved you.
Yes.
I'm so sorry about that.
It was very serious.
Has that affected your marriage in any way?
Oh, actually, it's like I keep long. My first child is 8 years. The second one will be. So I don't get pregnant like
to back.
So it seems like my husband was annoyed. He thought maybe I've been taking some contraception and all those things. That's why it keep me waiting. And God being so good, I get the pregnancy, and this was what happened. As I'm talking to you now, we are not in good terms because of the miscarriage that I had with my husband.
He doesn't understand that.
He doesn't understand it that I've been going to antenatal. I have all my scan report there. So why is it that they didn't see anything? And I don't, like, he is putting the blame on me. Okay, so as I'm working there, don't I feel anything?
You won't feel anything.
I didn't feel. I was very active.
Of course, you won't feel anything.
I was very, very active. She has been seeing me every morning, washing. I was very, very active. I will wake up 3. I have to cook for the children. I'll do everything. So I was okay. So because of that, we are not in good terms. Even when coming here, I didn't tell him that I'm going
to have any problems?
Oh, no. Very soon, it will be over. Very soon, it will be over. So I'm okay.
I'm really sorry that you had to go through that. And I hope that your husband comes around, if that's what you want. If that's what you want, I hope that he comes around.
Oh, it's not easy. My prayer is that none of our sisters coming will go through what I went through. It's very, very painful.
Yeah.
Very, very painful.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I think it's a good time to take a break. You're watching Wgta This Africa. We'll be right back.
Can you feel over your face? We got this. Can you feel over your face? Can you feel over your face? We got this. Can you feel over your face?
I always say that so many things our mothers don't tell us before we have babies. And we come to find out after the babies are here. Sometimes it's probably too late. It's like, how come nobody told me this? We were watching We Got This Africa, and Bintu has a pile. Bintu has a tall list of things that she wishes her mom had told her before she became a mom and how it's changed her. So tell me, we have just 5 minutes to say goodbye. 3 things that you wish you had known about motherhood before you got here.
The sleepless nights, it's quite uncomfortable because you need to be awake all the time, especially in the first few months. You need to be awake to breastfeed the baby. And as I said, my baby couldn't suck on the breast, so I had to wake up all night pumping out breast milk so I can feed her when she wakes up. So it was really difficult because time for pumping before you get the time to feed
and
the
washing
baby.
bottles and sterilizing them and
it wasn't
boiling
easy.
them.
So before I had my baby, I had a miscarriage. I didn't know anything about pregnancy. So I was doing my national service by then. You know the stress you go through with national service. So I think the stress, or I don't know why, but I got a miscarriage. I hadn't told my mom about the pregnancy. So I was sick. My husband called her and informed her about the fact that I was sick. And she called me and asked what was wrong. And I told her, I was pregnant. I had a miscarriage. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? It's really, I didn't feel, I was afraid. Let me say I was afraid, or I was shy to tell my mom I was pregnant. I don't know why, but I was really shy to tell. So she really got upset. In a typical Ghanaian home, when I started my monthly period, I showed it to my mom. The very first day I had it, I showed it to my mom. And the only thing she told me was, okay, they've taught you everything in school, so that was all she told me when I started. So we don't know anything. You just give birth, then you move with the flow. So as you are going, then you also learn some things from the child. So when I had my baby, she had blood stains in her diaper. So I was really scared because I thought maybe she had broken her. She's a girl, so I thought she had broken her hymen, or there was something wrong with her. So I had to rush her to the hospital, not knowing. The doctor said it was hormonal things that came from me, like my hormones. Some are in her, so she would release some of them out. I was really scared. A lot of things happen. After delivery, you get severe constipation and you can't do anything about it. It's very severe. You get to the washroom and it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I was really naive about the whole birth process, and it was quite difficult, but I had my family around to help. So it was easy.
Everything you say, I just think about it, I'm like,
Everything
you say, did you have a C-section or a vaginal delivery?
Vaginal delivery.
Okay, so they gave you stool softness. They didn't give you stool softness.
No.
All right, sorry. Sorry about that. But yeah, I can never really understand why all of these things are so shrouded in secrecy, and you just really never hear about it. Did you have it different? Did they tell you that,
No. Yeah, the same thing.
you had to go with the flow?
Yeah.
As you go, you learn. You
Then
meet
the only
different
thing,
things.
she said, if someone touch you, a man touch you, you get pregnant.
So your mom said if a man touches you, you get pregnant?
Yeah, so that
Have you
fear
told
was
your
in-
daughters the same thing?
No, I want her to be 10 years.
Did you tell her
Yeah.
this?
So I closed from school when I was in class 6, and someone called me, said Awulaba. So when I went and he was asking me, what is your name? Then he touched me. I cried from Presby to my house. When I went to the washroom, I was just, hey, I'm pregnant. When my mother came, I'm in trouble. I was in the washroom crying. Then I was just, I don't know where the baby is coming out from, but just that I was.
What, you were pushing?
Yes, so that the baby should come out. I did it, the thing did not come. So I have to go inside the room. I was in the room when my mother came. My mother said, "Why am I sweating?" I said, "Nothing." What is wrong with you? I was very sad. I told her that I'll tell her the truth. She said, "What truth?" Somebody touched me. I said, "Hey, Gladys, someone touched you." So she didn't say anything. She said, "I should sit down. She's coming." And she went out to talk to somebody. Later, I cried and cried and cried. And he said, "Oh, can she be my face to family? Baby,
so she was still going on the
until I realized that.
Are you going to tell your children that if someone,
I'll do that.
That if someone touches them?
Yes, you get pregnant.
Why?
Because if like my mother didn't tell me that, we have friends.
But what if they find out that that's not how pregnancy occurs, and someone offers to teach them the real way?
Nobody will. I'll tell them the truth.
Okay.
That this is it. If you do this, this is what you get.
So
but
not shoulder touching.
Touching the air. Even I've warned them not to sit on people.
Of course.
So definitely, I will tell them that if someone touch you, of course, no here. Mommy, are you ready for that? Then.
I don't have daughters, so I'm being careful, but I think you should tell them the real thing, though.
Oh, for
like
now
tell them.
They are
of
too
course,
young.
now they are too young. Yeah.
I was in class 6 when my mom told me.
And now they're just 8 years old.
8 years.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting till 10 years, then I'll tell them.
But you should teach them if someone touches them inappropriately what it is.
Yeah,
and all of that,
yeah.
so
Like
there
is this a song that we sing. My body is my home. Say no to men. Say no to women. Those who touch your private parts. We have a song on it. So I have to them all those songs. So they are very, very aware of it.
Charlie, did you have any shocks when your baby came? Like things you were surprised to experience?
Seriously. Like at the labor ward, push, all of the sudden, it seems like my tummy went inside like this. Said, "Hey, have I given birth? I'm not sure." They brought it to me.
You were not sure?
Yeah, I was not sure.
You could not feel the baby coming out?
I was not sure. Like this telenovela that they show, there was this thing, how did they call it? Deaf lady. Yeah. That's how one raped her. She was able to give birth. So I saw it that, it's normal. Something that when I go, it will be simple.
So you thought you just walk in,
yes,
and you cough, and the baby will come out?
Then the baby will come out.
You
But
take your baby home.
at the stage 1, people were shouting, they were doing all. So I was saying that, this thing too is not painful. So why all this?
So you didn't experience any pain?
Later.
Oh,
because
at that time you hadn't started.
So the way they were shouting, the nurse came and said, even this lady is not doing it. Do you want her to do that? Stop doing those things. But when my time came, and I realized that, my mom told me that I shouldn't shout. Yes, I should do like this or say Jesus. I shouldn't touch any of my body. I should do like this. So I was then doing that. So
what was that supposed to do?
I don't know, but that's what she told me.
Did you do that?
No.
I was doing
shouting,
it
actually.
Oh, I didn't shout because my mom said whatever you start with, then it continues.
That's what they tell us. So when the rubbing, I didn't know. So I was actually rubbing my thighs, and my husband was rubbing my back. So when I gave her to my baby, she had a blood stain on the eye.
Because you rubbed your thigh.
Yes, and the cheeks were very red.
Yes. What's the connection between your thigh and the stomach, your baby in your belly?
Actually, I might say that when, let's say, BHNI over 4, Bona, if it's all body part, if you are so if you don't take time, either he or she will go blind because of the blood that will.
Isn't this a superstitious, weird African story?
After rubbing, the baby came out with red cheeks and a stain on the eye.
Yeah,
so I was told that it's because of the.
So if you touch that place.
My sister was doing banku when she was preparing banku when she got into labor. So the banku, the very hot banku on the fire, touched her, I think the hand, yes. So when she gave birth to the baby, when you look at the baby's hand, there's some
Well, was the baby's hand in her
I
hand?
don't know. We were told that it's because of the banku that touched the hand. That's why.
It's not true.
It's not true.
It's true.
Who told you that?
It's true because there was
My mother
Did the
told
doctor
me.
say it?
No, the doctor didn't say
there
that.
was a lady who was pregnant that she pleated her cornrow, and the boy that was
boy.
given to her, it was very deep. So she gave birth to a girl, and it was the
The
line
baby
was
had a boy.
the line was all over. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Wow. A boy.
It was dead.
So you don't think these are just myths?
No.
That the baby will come out with a boy. The baby came out with a
It
boy.
came, and there was line. The hair was very plenty. She
With
was having
a
plain
boy.
hair, and there was line. all
And your
over.
sister's banku that touched her hand.
Yes, the baby
affected
came out
the baby.
with a mark on the hand.
Have you tried giving your baby like some good dollars? Although you hold dollars when you go to the neighborhood, the baby comes out with
money.
dollars.
It's painful there, so you forget
won't even
about
think
it.
about
I think these are really interesting because I've never heard,
About them,
these
about
things. So you rub your I never had a vaginal birth, so I don't know about these, but
maybe that's
that's interesting. Interesting. I see. Well, we've heard some things today, and I'm sure you've heard so many. There's so many things they don't tell us, so many things you don't expect, and so many ways your life will change when you become a mom. But in all of this, I think we can all agree that it's a beautiful experience. Yes. Thank you so much for coming, Gladys. Thank you, Bintu, for sharing. You've watched our Motherhood episode of We Got This Africa. My name is Na Shoko. See you same time next time. Bye-bye.
We go be alright, no. Inyami, go chichino. Inyami, banyo fe. Inyami, go konjano. Kenya fe, o banyo fe. Inyami, go chichino. Inyami, banyo fe. Inyami, go konjano. Kenya fe, o banyo fe. Kenya fe, o banyo fe. Kenya fe, obanyo fe. Kenya fe, obanyo fe. We got this. Kenya fe, obanyo fe.
We Got This Africa is an April Communications production, proudly brought to you by Fritol. Fritol, you deserve a life of goodness.